All right, let's go ahead and get to the layouts here. So, what we've got, oh, what we've got here is our styrofoam, looking good. So now what we want to do is we want to create several views of the object as two-dimensional lines. On the previous project, we used the actual object, but I find that the line work comes out cleaner if you use this method. So this is the method we'll be using from now on to create 2D views of the object. So first things first, we'll right-click, go to Set View, and come down to Isometric. We'll do a Southwest Isometric. Actually, you know what? No, can't scrap that. First thing we're going to do, because all of our 2D objects are going to be made right in this area here, let's move and enter this object with ortho on this way. Okay. Now, what we'll do is we'll go to Set View, Isometric. I'll do a Southwest Isometric. Okay, so you can see now it's no longer in perspective. Everything is in straight lines. And that's how an isometric works, basically. So everything's at a 30-degree angle here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to type make 2D, enter, click on the object to make 2D, hit enter, and this comes up. Now, there are multiple ways that you can set up this two-dimensional drawing. I'm going to do each one of them one at a time. It's a little bit slower, but more controlled. You can do 4 views, and it'll make 4 views at once. Try that out if you'd like. But I'm just going to do current view. And you can do show hidden lines, or you can have that turned off, and it just shows the lines that are visible. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. You can see it looks funky there, but if I switch to a top view here, it looks right. So all of these are now done with vector lines and a nice clean look to everything here. So you can even come back in and change the line weights of these individual lines here by changing these onto different layers and then changing the line weight. So say I type in layer and create a new layer and call it thicker lines. I can go through and click on whatever lines I want to make thicker, maybe just the top ones here, and then come back into here and change our line weight, maybe 0.7 or whatever, and then when we export it, it'll export those lines thicker. So I forgot to put it on the layer though. So then I got to click on this, right click, and go to move objects to this layer. Okay. And now those lines should be thicker later on. We'll see. So continue to make your 2D objects. First, we're going to move this up again. And then I'm going to type make 2D, enter, current view, or let's try 4 views, USA. Hit OK. Click on the object. Or, oops. No, let's not do that. Hit enter, bring up the same command, enter, current view, default, OK. There's that one, and then we move it up here, over here a little bit. And then let's switch our view to a bottom view. And then type make 2D, enter, click, enter, current view, OK. All right, so then you get that view, move, enter, and we'll move it over here. Next, we're going to switch our view to a left view. And then type make 2D, enter, click, enter. OK. And then we'll go back up to our view here. from top. And we've got our left view. And I'm going to move it right over there for now. We'll arrange those better later. Next, we're going to go to a right view. Make 2D. Enter, click, enter. OK. Back to a top view. Move this over there. Go to a front view. Make 2D. OK. Back to a top view. Move this up. And then right click again. Back view. Make 2D. One more time. Back over to a top view. So that gives us all of our views. Now we just want to go ahead and organize this. So I'm going to move this here and start lining these up. So I'm going to move this from here, touch this end here. Let me turn off ortho up here. Touch this here. Let me escape. Draw a projector line, just a straight line with ortho on, straight down. And I can use this line with my nearest on here to line all these up close enough, but you want to be able to have room for text. And then this one here, and this one here. And then I'm going to do another line this way. And I'm going to line these up. Here. One more line. Straight down. Move this one to there. And then I can get rid of these projector lines. I'm going to move this up a little bit, so I've got, they need to be pretty close together so they fit properly on the sheet. All right. So that gives us kind of what we're looking for. Now let's do file, save as. File, save as. Or just save. No, we want to do duplicate, I guess, or save as if you've got a PC. Then save ... and call it, instead of copy, 2D. Save it. All right, next thing we can do is just delete our 3D object. We don't need this because we're just going to be dealing with our 2D objects here. So now I'm going to type layout, and I want to change this to a portrait. 17, that's our width. 11 is our height. Inches is good. All that looks good. Initial detail count, I want to do 1. Okay. So by default, it just kind of lines them all up there. Now we need to make sure this is to scale. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to View, and then go to Layout, and then go Scale Detail View. Select the detail view to scale. Done. Value is 3. Done. By 12. Done. Okay, so now that's to scale. All we've got to do is label it and write our name in this corner here. So type text, enter, click, and then we bring this up. We go top, or this is isometric view. 0.25 Helvetica, this looks all good. Create text. And then continue to do the same thing. I'm going to hit enter, bring up the same command, click right there. And this time I'm going to type top view, create text. This time I'm going to just copy it because I want to keep ortho on and keep it lined up. And I might have to move that one just so it fits a little bit better. And then click on these two, copy again. And I'm going to click down here in the gray so I don't accidentally snap on something. Okay. And then what I want to do is double click inside of here, go from left to right to select just these two. And since the text is on the layout and I'm inside of the model space, I can now move this. From here, just kind of click and drag it up a little bit so it fits. And it still seems like the kerning on all this is a little funky, so I'm going to double click back inside here, select this, actually select this whole thing, move, enter, click, and move it on up. And then double click inside here and right click to pan down. Then double click out to get out of that. Okay. So that whole thing looks pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit too much space at the top here, so let me move all of these in my layout space up a little bit, and then double click inside here, grab all of these, and move these up. Alright, and then last thing I need to do is bring up my text box again, and I'm going to click right here, and this time I'm going to type in my information. Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, your time, whatever. 3, 2, 5, 50. TechIll 342A. And create text. And there we go. I still don't quite like this. I'm going to move this isometric up a little bit more, just so it kind of lines up better with that. And again, the reason why when I'm moving things, I'm clicking down here or in the gray area where there is no object instead of on the actual object is if I click on this and try to move it up, you see all the snaps start happening and I can accidentally move it to a place I don't want to. And that's the key to moving things across the board. You always want to specify a base point for movement that is not around any object that can be accidentally snapped onto. Just a good rule of thumb. And then we go File, Print, and I've got it set up line types and line weights all right here. Visibility, on visibility here you'll see that there are options that are turned off, like the grid axes, the margins, all of that kind of stuff. Make sure it looks like that. Layout, you know, a lot of these are based on your printer settings. Maximum DPI, always try to set it to the highest level of print quality. Output and scaling here, and change it to vector output, so that way it's all it's all vector lines instead of raster lines. Save as PDF, and then we go to our save location, title it what P5 MOOREK. Of course, you title it your last name and first initial. And then save it. And now when we look at the PDF, you can see these are all vector lines. So when you bring it up, you can actually open this up in Illustrator. Let's double check that it's working. See, these lines are all vectors now, so I can even come in here and change the line weights if I wanted to. Whoops. Some of these are like their viewport lines and stuff. So like if I select this whole thing, I can change my stroke length to 0.5, and you'll see it changes all of the vector lines to make them a little thinner, a little cleaner. And you can do more with that later on, and I'll show you in the next project. But that should be a good example of our layout. Whether you've got the styrofoam with the EEs or the one with the football, this is how you're going to lay out and save it and then print it. Or not print it, put it in the Dropbox. So that's it. All right, thank you very much. Have fun.